But it's look at that. Look at lovely Grogu there, everyone.
Is it
Drag shows.
Grogat now?
It's Grogay. Great Grey
Grogay?
Gay.
That works.
Grogay. Drag shows at Star Wars Celebration. This is
Good lord.
legitimately a thing. I fucking don't understand it. It's so weird. I don't
Aren't you
understand
glad
it.
Bob Iger's back?
Yeah. I've done a video about this on the main channel. It's released now. And look, at the end of the day, like, so let me just, I'll run through exactly what it is in a minute. But at the end of the day, we don't know, and this is important to say, like, we don't actually know whether this will be inappropriate. We don't know that. However, and I will say this, however, the overwhelming majority of these things are inappropriate for kids, right? We have a wealth of history of these things now, and they are always inappropriate for children.
Well, and the
They always
same
are.
members of the community will come out and say the same thing.
Yeah, but it's
Right?
not just that
Don't
either.
bring your
Like,
kid to a gay pride parade.
yeah,
Don't,
but
you
it's
wouldn't take
also
your kid to a regular strip club. Why would you have it at a.
but it's not just that, right? It's the fact that they are wasting a whole panel about fucking drag shows at Star Wars Celebration. Give me something else. Like, show me, have a panel with the writers, have a panel with the concept artists, have a panel with the creature effects. Like, who cares? The way they phrase this, and I'll get to it in a minute because it's lunacy, is like this is a big thing entrenched in Star Wars. Drag is entrenched in Star Wars. That's literally what they're trying to claim. What? Give me something else that we could all actually enjoy, that's actually inherently good, and is intrinsic to Star Wars. Not a bloody drag show, for goodness sake. It doesn't make any sense. So look, aka the Gay Jedi on Twitter, yeah, that's legit what he's called, announced that the Walt Disney Company, Lucasfilm, and Star Wars approved his drag panel titled "Star Wars is a Drag: Exploring Star Wars Through the Art of Drag" for the upcoming Star Wars Celebration in London this year. So he wrote, "I am humbled, grateful, and over the forest moons to announce that my Star Wars Celebration panel with Pencil Scrathen and David Sigurani, titled Star Wars as a Drag, Exploring Star Wars Through the Art of Drag, has been officially approved. We can't wait to share this with you all." Wait, it gets more mental. I promise. Accompanying the announcement, the user also included a more detailed description of what the panel will be. This is where we just jump the fucking shark, by the way. "The long and rich history of drag has graced the world with entertainment, culture, political action, and so much more. It is no wonder, then, that today the art form has reached such a cultural significance that the truths and concepts of drag performance permeate countless aspects of our daily lives, including Star Wars." Well, I'm just going to say, I'm wearing normal clothes, all right? I'm not in drag right now. My daily life does not involve drag, okay? I'm sure it doesn't you either, Tom or Paulie. I'm fairly certain it doesn't permeate everyone's daily life. He continued.
Well, there was that day in college, I guess.
Oh dear. Anyway, so he
I'm
continues.
kidding. I didn't go to college.
There's some of Star Wars's very best characters embody various core principles of drag. This is where they've it's mental. I don't understand. Whether it's Din Djarin's drag as personal expression and self-discovery. Honestly, your guess is as fucking good as mine. I don't understand. Asajj Ventress's drag as queer rebellion, or Padme Amidala's drag as self-empowerment. The relevance of drag even spills out the pages and screens of Star Wars and flows through the fandom itself through hobbies like cosplay. No, mate, that's cosplay. Drag and cosplay are two entirely different things. What is this? What? While taking an introductory look at the history and function of drag in our world today, let's also explore its thematic resonance and influential presence in everyone's favourite far, far away galaxy. This has absolutely no relevance to Star Wars in any way, shape, or form. I mean, you have like that gay Jedi apply for the Olympics, mate, because your mental gymnastics are insane.
I wish I could say I was surprised, but
I
wasn't it the
am.
last? No, didn't they have like a trans person at the last Star Wars Celebration or Disney
Well,
presentation thing here
doing
a
what though?
couple
There's
months
nothing wrong
back?
with
It was some game show
doing what though.
thing. It was
Yeah,
some
okay,
game show
so,
thing, but it was still from
yeah,
Disney, and it was
well, no,
on
but
their
so
stage, and it
let's
was part of their live presentation thing. Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, let's not misconstrue it, right? There's nothing wrong
But
with
no, but again, like I
so.
wish I could
Well, no, let
say
me
I was
stop.
surprised, but yeah.
Let me address that point first and foremost, because that's a really important distinction to make, right? There's nothing wrong with a trans person being a presenter for Star Wars. That's fine. But there is a problem with people trying to insert drag and say that there's an intrinsic element of drag within Star Wars. They're not the same. That doesn't make any sense at all. There's a complete differentiation between just a trans presenter. Nothing wrong with that. There's actually no issue with that at
Well,
all.
okay, maybe let
But
me
there isn't.
rephrase it. Okay, then, because it was
I don't
probably
know what it
more or
was.
less somebody who looked like they were in drag than more than trans. I was trying to
Right.
be
Well,
more
then that's
politically
different.
correct.
Well, don't be,
And again,
because
it
we
was
need
something
to.
we all pointed out when it happened, and we're just like, "What the fuck is this shit?" I've been trying to find a picture
Yeah.
of this so you know what I was talking about, but
Right.
I
Right.
can't right now, of course, but
But
I'm
I mean,
trying to find it, but
this is just fucking
'cause I don't
nonsense.
remember what it was for, but
This is just. It doesn't make any sense. Like it's just utter nonsense. Like you're all you're doing is shoehorning Star Wars into drag and drag into Star Wars to put on a drag panel. It has no relevance on Star Wars remotely. Absolutely remotely. This is a Star Wars celebration. It's a waste of a panel. Give me a panel about concept art. Give me a panel about creature design. Give me a panel with the writers.
okay, here's I believe what I was
God.
talking about.
Doesn't make any sense. Are you sharing it?
Hang on here. Let me double check to make sure that I'm sharing the right thing. Yeah, I think this is it because it would have been. Well, I think this is who it was on the stage, but it was something like this. I think it was this person who was the presenter I was talking about in the middle here.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, this has absolutely no relevance to Star Wars at all. It doesn't make any sense. Absolutely no sense. Paulie, what are your thoughts on this, mate?
Yeah, I have some thoughts.
Yeah.
Uh,
Good. That's what I asked. Good.
yeah. Um, uh, First thought is they're doing this just for, you know, to get some attention that, that they're kind of still relevant as far as Star Wars Celebration.
Mm.
And maybe there's a small loud group that's been pushing for this. We need to have our own panel.
Mm.
And you know, fine, have your panel. I don't know if there's going to be an age restriction, which I think speaks to this other stuff that we're going to talk about with The Last of Us.
Yeah.
That the more you kind of replace your core values with kind of virtue signaling and your politics, that this is what you get, unfortunately. And you can't decipher, whether they're doing something that's coming from a good place.
Mm.
As far as drag being art, I actually agree. Having gone to lots of drag shows, with adults.
Yeah, there's a time and a place. There's an
With
audience for it.
adults, with
That's the whole point I was trying to
Different
make.
thing.
with burlesque,
Mm.
or they have the was it the drag queen bingos and the brunches. I mean, those are a lot of fun. Very entertaining, and never did I
Adult.
see yes, all adults. Yep.
Yeah, is the important distinction.
Entertainment, adult entertainment, which is, so, but to, so, and then I know a lot of these people put a lot of work into, their business. Who am I to,
Mm.
who am I to say anything? But that's different than again, what is the age restriction? What is going on? I
It's a
as
Star Wars celebration, so I mean, some of this stuff will be live. So, I mean, I think it is live. I think it's recorded. There will
well, it's
be
a
children in
panel,
attendance.
right? It's
Yeah.
a panel. So
Well, yeah, there's people in attendance, and they will be children as well. Absolutely, there will be.
right. Well, I mean, we're gonna find out. But again, it
Mm.
just goes back to this: when you replace your principles and values, and replace this and make this your religion, as far as virtue signaling, political stances,
Mm.
and really, what does that have? What at the end of the day, what does that have to do with Star Wars? What does that have to do with all this stuff that we're talking about?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just don't. I don't. I don't see it ending right.
But that's
You're you're just all it's doing is polarizing more and more people, more and more communities.
yeah,
Whereas the ones that might have been tolerant and, like, open to being supportive, it's like, I can't support this. I can't
yeah,
support that.
exactly, and that's
So,
why I had to jump in there and be like, look, there is nothing wrong with a trans person being a presenter for Star Wars, because they are there being a presenter for Star Wars. Obviously, you'll be further clarified, Tom. So we've covered that, but that's the important distinction there, isn't it? Someone can just exist doing their normal day-to-day life whilst also doing normal jobs and being just a normal person doing normal things. This is narcissism. This isn't about Star Wars. This is about them trying to fit drag into Star Wars for some weird reason. It's just bizarre. It doesn't this has no place there. It's just not. It's
Well, and I
bizarre.
wasn't even trying to say the other thing at all. I'm talking about Disney in general as a family company should not even. This is
Mm.
not even something that should be on their plate. Exactly.
No, it
Like,
shouldn't.
that's my whole
No.
point. So this is not. That's what I meant by this is not something that surprises me in the least. Right.
Mm.
And when Iger came back, I knew this was going to be more of what we got from before, right? They even said he's doubling down on this crap. Feige said they're doubling down on
Mm.
this crap. All of them have said it. Look, and again, I
Yeah.
have no problems with, like, I'm with Paulie. I'm a huge fan of, like, John Waters and a lot of other things, so I have no problem with drag shows.
Time and a place.
Time and a place, though. And as I said when we started out this conversation, many people in the community themselves will tell you, drag shows and, gay pride parades and these other places are not a place for children. Why? Because they are
Mm.
9 times out of 10 about sexual expression, a thing that a
Yeah.
child should not be a part of yet,
In any
until
way,
they're ready to be,
in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
Whether
Until they're
that's
old enough to understand that's
heterosexuality.
not where they should be,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will say also too that, I know that the Empire Strips Back, which I've gone and seen, is really popular. It's like a touring
Mm.
burlesque show now. So maybe this is kind of an extension of that. It's like,
Mm.
well, look, this is going on. Here's what we want to do. We want to make, drag art. And so, I'm almost saying, like, well, anyone can pitch an idea for a panel. Like, you could pitch one.
Mm.
I could pitch one, like to Disney, to Star Wars Celebration. So I'm thinking, like, this person wrote it up, the gay Jedi, like, wrote up the
Mm.
description and everything. So, where are you coming from with this gay Jedi? And if there is a small audience that you're trying to do this for, that's part of the Star Wars, fandom, cool.
Mm.
What are you going to do? What's involved in
Right.
the panel? And if it's something that's going to be really risque, are you going to have an age limit?
That's another
It's
good point, Paulie. Yeah, age
it's
limit on
good.
it.
It's good to there's nothing wrong with setting these requirements. It shows that we're part of a civilized society where not everyone agrees and thinks like everyone else. We should and need to be respectful and to exercise those things. It's not all, it's not always a pleasant thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do, but that's the price we pay of living in a free world, that we're all trying to be a part of. Well, it's like, okay, well, I really I'm not into to a gay panel, but I can't say no. That's not my place. I don't want to be that. But what's involved, or and I'm not saying me personally. I'm just saying, like, I'm actually, I probably wouldn't go. So yeah, it's but I think I'm putting more thought and compassion into probably Mr. Gay Jedi and his supporters are, because they probably don't give a shit, and they probably want to,
No,
like, we're gonna be here, we're gonna do our thing, we don't care who we offend, and that's not cool.
it's a very narcissistic endeavor, basically.
I'm assuming and I shouldn't, but I'm just
Well, I mean,
Well,
look,
to be clear,
they
I'd react the same way as if they announced like a Chippendale or Playboy Bunny panel that was going to be the same kind of thing or whatever. It's like,
yeah.
why?
Well, I mean, they have revealed something of what it's about, right? And like, it doesn't make any sense. So naturally, you would assume that it is a little bit shoehorned in. So I don't think that's wrong to do.
Now, if you have
I don't think it's
Chippendales
wrong to
dancing with
assume.
Chippendale, then I might see an argument.
Yeah.
That was
But
a joke,
it's
kids.
just,
That was a joke, for fuck's sake.
I mean, they literally say, while taking an introductory look at the history and function of drag in our world today, let's also explore its thematic resonance and influential presence in Star Wars. I mean, that's what it's about.
It's kind of a reach there. I mean, because you're talking
It's a
costumes,
massive reach,
right? You're talking
fucking
costumes, and
film.
let me just go with it. Okay, so I'm assuming Gay Jedi. I'm assuming that you mean that the
Can you
costumers.
stop saying that?
Oh, wasn't that his name?
Yeah, it is, but it just makes me laugh.
Okay.
I know
Listen,
I'm being immature, but it's funny.
listen,
Gay
G
Jedi.
Jedi.
Listen, Gay Jedi. I'm like,
Listen,
fucking
G
hell.
Jedi. I'm assuming you have knowledge I don't, like the costumers of Star Wars, or its creators, are gay. Okay, I'm gonna go with it, and that the costumes and everything it's coming from a drag point of view. So you're fetishizing something that it's not there. It's not there. Right, to say Padme and this and that in your mind, you that's how you're seeing it. God bless, but that's not how the majority of us see it. Right? We didn't grow. We just didn't grow up seeing it like that. There's always been people of different backgrounds that have been so influential in the arts, and yes, really influential as far as music and fashion. A lot of them have been gay. This has been going on so over 100 years. I'm talking about like motion pictures now. So there's that, but then you're taking this leap that it's that Star Wars has been drag. Maybe there's been little characters where you're seeing something I haven't seen, but as far as these main characters, I'm totally confused, G Jedi. So enlighten me. I'm not being.
Even someone pointed out in the chat, they're like, Paulie said Gay Jedi like 20 times in 5 minutes.
What?
He did.
No,
but you are right. Like, it's very much yeah, I mean, it wasn't there. Like, obviously, you can project onto anything, right?
You can project onto anything, right?
And that's what they're doing here. And it's, this would never have been even entertained 10 years ago. And it's only been entertained now because it's a hot, controversial topic. And that's the only reason why we're talking about it as well. And that's unfortunate because they're politicized. One, Gay Jedi is being politicized and being used. And he doesn't even realize it. Maybe that's his thing. I don't know. So anyway, I think that about rounds up the Gay Jedi.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
And his drag show, but I won't be attending that. I won't be watching that. It's
There's definitely something wrong with that.